The leaders of France and Britain are making their way to Washington this week. Their mission is to persuade President Donald Trump to continue supporting Ukraine. The war has now reached its third anniversary. Tensions are high. European leaders fear that Trump may abandon Ukraine in pursuit of a peace deal with Russia. There is an urgent need for diplomatic intervention. French President Emmanuel Macron and British Prime Minister Keir Starmer are taking different approaches. Macron has been vocal. He has strongly criticized Trump's recent statements that align with Russia's narrative. He has made it clear that Ukraine must be at the center of any negotiations. Starmer, on the other hand, has been more cautious. He prefers to act as a bridge between Europe and the United States. He avoids direct confrontation with Trump. However, both leaders share a common goal. They want to ensure that Ukraine's sovereignty remains protected. Trump's recent remarks have alarmed many. He has suggested that Ukraine should negotiate directly with Russia. He has even implied that Ukraine bears some responsibility for the conflict. This has sent shockwaves through European capitals. Macron has warned Trump against appearing weak in the face of President Vladimir Putin. He has reminded him that strength is his trademark. It is not in his interest to give in to Russia. Meanwhile, Starmer has reaffirmed the UK's commitment to Ukraine. He has rejected Trump's assertion that President Volodymyr Zelensky is a dictator. He has made it clear that the UK will stand firmly with Kyiv. Diplomatic efforts are in full swing. Last week, Macron convened a crisis meeting of European leaders in Paris. The purpose was to discuss the continent's next steps. Now, he is taking the message directly to Washington. His aim is to convince Trump that Europe and America share common interests. He has warned that if Russia is allowed to take over Ukraine, it will become unstoppable. Starmer, though more reserved, is delivering a similar message. He recently spoke with Zelensky. He reassured him of the UK's unwavering support. He made it clear that safeguarding Ukraine's sovereignty is a top priority. There is a historical aspect to this visit. Some historians argue that Britain's role as a transatlantic bridge is built on shaky ground. The so-called special relationship between the UK and the US has often been one-sided. In reality, great powers do what suits them. The real concern for both Macron and Starmer is keeping the US engaged in Europe. But whether they can achieve that remains uncertain. Trump has long questioned the value of NATO. He believes that the US carries an unfair burden. He has repeatedly complained that European nations do not contribute enough to their own security. This visit is not just about Ukraine. There are other pressing issues. One major topic is trade. Trump has imposed new tariffs on steel and aluminum imports. This has rattled European leaders. France and the UK want to avoid further economic fallout. They will push for fair trade relations. Britain, having left the European Union, sees an opportunity. Starmer hopes that the UK's balanced trade with the US will shield it from harsh tariffs. There are also concerns over Trump's controversial suggestion that Palestinians should be deported from Gaza. Starmer intends to raise objections. He will also discuss the UK's decision to cede the Chagos Islands to Mauritius. This affects a strategic US military base. The diplomatic stakes are high. The outcomes of these meetings could reshape global politics. They could determine the future of Ukraine. They could influence the transatlantic alliance. They could impact economic relations. The world is watching closely. These talks could mark a turning point. If Macron and Starmer succeed, they could help secure a strong commitment to Ukraine. If they fail, the consequences could be dire. Russia could gain the upper hand. Ukraine could be left vulnerable. European security could be in jeopardy. There is also a softer side to diplomacy. Britain is prepared to use ceremonial power. Reports suggest that Starmer will present Trump with an invitation from King Charles III. A state visit would include royal pageantry. This could appeal to Trump's taste for grand displays. It is a strategic move. It could help strengthen relations. The world awaits the results. Will Trump be swayed? Will the US remain a key player in Europe? Will Ukraine receive the support it needs? The next few days will be crucial. Every word spoken, every handshake exchanged, every agreement reached will matter. This is more than a diplomatic mission. It is a test of leadership. It is a test of alliances. It is a test of commitment to peace. The answers will shape the future of Europe. The answers will determine the fate of Ukraine. The stakes could not be higher.